Hey everyone, Caleb with Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with a video that is a little bit of a funny story, but it comes with an important lesson for us in business. And guys, this lesson, again, I'm sharing it because it's not just me venting and not just me telling a funny story. It's because this story, again, comes with that very important lesson. Just telling stories for the sake of telling stories that have no lesson, well, that's a waste of everyone's time. But with that said, this story, guys, I'm going to keep it really short, but long story short, I had a recent sale where this guy bought a set of books, and I was like, cool, he bought this set of books. I gave it to him for a pretty big discount, but I was like, hey, I've had these for a little bit. I also, I got them for free, so anything that I get is going to be better than nothing. But these books, they sold, and I was like, cool, they sold. Nice. Not making a lot of money, but hey, I got them for free. And then this guy, that next morning asked for a refund on it. He asked for a cancellation. I was like, oh, that stinks. No reason except for placed on accident or something like that is what he put in. So I was like, oh, just accept it, because I'm not going to send someone books they don't want. Then they'll probably just tell eBay to cancel it, and I'm out the books and the shipping. So I'm like, whatever. And shortly thereafter, he comes back and it's like, oh, I did this on accident. And I actually do want to buy these books. I won't cancel it this time. He specifically said, I will not cancel it this next time. So I was like, okay, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? He cancels. Well, he did cancel shortly after that, after he bought it the second time. And there's not many times that I look at an eBay buyer and I think, I need to block your account. That guy, I'm pretty sure I do need to block his account, because I can't handle that many random cancellations, because I'm sure that doesn't end up looking good on my eBay metrics. But he canceled again for the second time and was like, oh, I actually have these books already. And guys, there's a word that people use in this world for people like that. It's called idiots. And obviously this guy, sure, he might have had something else going on. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you even more, is sort of how I see it. I don't know. But for this, it's sort of like, well, I'm not sure what's going on in your world, sir, but I want nothing to do with it. Long story short, though, I obviously accepted that cancellation the second time through, but the important lesson from this, guys, is don't let it get to you. There's the story about a donkey that fell in a hole, and the farmer looks at it and thinks, I can't get it out, so he started burying the donkey alive, and the donkey, dirt fell on its back, it shook it off, stomped it down, and eventually was able to rise on its own out of the hole, as the farmer was trying to bury it alive, basically, because the farmer was like, there's nothing I can do. The donkey was like, it's off my back, moving on. Off my back, moving on. And eventually you can rise over things. And this is one of those things in business where you just look at someone and you're like, this kind of person is the kind of person that says the customer's always right, but that same kind of person misses the other part of the saying, because it's not the customer's always right, period. It's the customer's always right in the matter of design and taste or something like that, of them saying they know what they want. It's not them saying the customer is like God and always correct in everything they do. Customers are wrong more often than not. Let's face it, we have all seen a Karen yelling at a fast food attendant for giving them a hamburger with no meat on it, because that same Karen asked for a hamburger with no meat on it. In fact, funny story, I believe I was at an Olive Garden a few years back, and there's this chick. She walked in, she was already like exuding Karen energy, and I'm sorry to those of you that are Karens, that's just the common term we have for it now, but she was just a big time fart nugget. How about that? And you could tell, and she was bad-mouthing all sorts of people just from her table, and she was doing it loudly, because that's what you expect from that sort of person. And she gets the waitress and is like, I want this, I don't know alcohol stuff, guys, but she was asking for an alcohol, and I believe it was salt on the rim, and the waitress was like, oh, that's interesting. Normally it's sugar, but yeah, I'll have it done with salt. And I kid you not, folks, this lady then gets it with she asked for salt, not sugar. So yeah, she gets it with the salt, takes a sip, and yells at the waitress and is like, who does this with salt on the rim? It's always done with sugar. What are you doing? Gets the manager, is chewing everyone out, bad-mouthing everyone the entire time when the waitress and the manager are not there. Like, that is the sort of person that you guys will have in your business at some time. There are going to be those customers like, I'm always right, when they are in fact just an idiot. There are idiots in this world, guys. There's not a lot that we can do about that. End of the day, we sort of have to coexist with those people. It's just sort of what you get. And if you live in larger cities such as Portland, there are a lot more idiots per capita, it seems. So obviously that's another reason why I'm hoping to get out of here. But the reason why I'm sharing all this, guys, is because, again, you need to just learn to not let these things get you down. I know it's going to eat you stinking up if you are brand new to the business and you get your first sale and they cancel. That's going to stink. It's going to stink even more when they reorder something and cancel again. You need to just learn that. Take a breath, breathe out, and say, I can't control this. I can't handle this person and like manhandle them into doing what I want them to do. Some people are just idiots. Some people don't know what's going on. Some people are out there just to mess with other people and ruin other people's lives. I don't know why, but there are people like that. So you need to learn to just move on. And sometimes moving on means, okay, washing my hands of this. I don't need to deal with this. Other times moving on is, well, this eBay buyer is stupid. Click, click, click. Block this buyer, and now you don't need to worry about them ever again, because let's face it, in the case of my book business, best case scenario, that person already asked for something half off, basically. Odds are, if they want something else, they'll want half off anyways. So are they a valuable customer to me? No. Are they my ideal client? Anyone asking half off is not my ideal client. My ideal client is going to be someone paying full price, or maybe 10%, 15% off in the worst case. But every now and then I do have things that I've sat on for a long time that I will take. This guy, I think it was like 41% off. So it's like, that's not great whatsoever, but I'll take it because I just want these things sold. So that is something that does happen every now and then in business. You do have occasional things that do sell a little bit lower, which, again, if you're brand new to the business, you're probably not going to have, because let's face it, you're brand new to the business. You don't have inventory that you're just like, let's get rid of it already. But you, again, are going to have some people that are going to lowball you. And if you're brand new, that's going to hurt. You're going to have people cancel. If you're brand new, that's going to hurt. You're going to have people get the books and be like, oh, this book is not, I actually recently had this. I wrote in the description that the book had some signatures, and the person got it and said, hey, there's signatures on this page and this page. And I'm like, it said that in the description. They're like, well, I bought it for not having that. I was like, really? So I refunded that person because it was Christmas time and I just didn't want to deal with that. I had one other refund because USPS was taking forever and a half, and the person started complaining about that. So I was like, refund, not going to deal with this. That is just sort of something that you do as you get along further in this business, is you get to the point that you're just like, refund this, refund that, because you don't want to deal with the potential negative feedback. You don't want to deal with the person complaining. You don't want to deal with getting bad mouth, all that sort of annoying stuff that can happen in business. That is the sort of stuff that can happen. But I know you guys might be a little bit, if you're brand new to this, might be like, oh no, these are all the other things I have to worry about now. Oh, why did I get into this? Guys, in my entire time of doing this eBay business, I've had to refund people twice now for USPS being stupid. One time they lost half of a parcel, so I shipped out a large set of, I believe it was books, and they lost half of the books for over a month, and the other half arrived within a few days. So I mean, I shipped them out same day. They most likely went on the same truck, and USPS was just like, what do you mean there was 2 boxes, for the longest time? And eventually they did find it after I did a whole lost mail report, and they actually did a search, and we're like, oh, it's in a warehouse. Way over there. It's supposed to be over there, but we shipped it over there. And obviously, again, back what I said about idiots. Yeah, there's idiots everywhere, especially in government, it seems. But end of the day, I've only had this happen twice, and for that person that lost half the parcel, I just refunded them half. For the person that they lost it for, this was the more recent one. It was a very cheap thing. I want to say I refunded them $16, and yeah, that's not very much money at all, but that was the whole refund. It was just some children's books that I was selling for my mom, and really simple stuff, really moved along quickly, and I was like, hands are washed to this, not my problem. And I actually waited to refund that person until I actually knew that the mail service had actually found the stupid books, because for me, I want the buyer to know that I am still involved. If I just refund it, it's like, my hands are washed, I don't care. I find that if I don't refund it right away and I'm actually walking through the process with the person, they actually sort of know, hey, this person's not just a fly-by-night operation. That's just sort of how I see things. With all of that said, for the other refunds that I've done, so I've had several hundred sales in my business, include my time with Amazon FBA. I've had probably at least 10,000 or so, maybe 20,000 sales, I don't know off the top of my head, sales out of even all my time on Amazon. I would say I probably had a return rate, a cancellation rate sort of thing. Actually, no, just return rate, sorry, of well under 5%, I would say. And again, if you're brand new, you're like, 5% of my books, I can't handle that. But by and large, those cancellations that I got were for low tier books. Even the one that I had a refund, and even the thing that the guy said it wasn't filled out, but it was said in the description, even that, it was the low ticket items. I find that the high ticket buyers that are buying the more expensive books that we will have in our stores, they're not the kind that are going to be really, honestly, just annoying. Like, for me, my ideal customer is the customer that is going to buy the antique Christian set of books from the I believe this is the 1860s. Let me check. Sorry, 1915. Wow, I am way off. What set was I thinking about? But I have lots of different books, lots of different sets that are in. Some of them are quite valuable, and my ideal customer are going to be the people looking for that. They're not going to be the people looking for the Black Lagoon children's book lot that I am selling for, again, for my mom. It's like, that's not my ideal customer, and those non-ideal customers of mine, they're not my ideal customer for a lot of reasons. For one, I'm not making a good profit off of that. Like, honestly, what kind of money am I going to make selling a few lots of children's books? I mean, yeah, you could make a business off that, absolutely. It's actually something I've looked into, because I can get children's books for cheap, out of the wazoo cheap. Like, it is something I do play around with the idea for, but it's not my ideal customer. It's not something I have an interest in, because return rates are high. These children's books, I mean, what is the actual interest in a lot of these? Obviously, it's not going to be quite the same, because a lot of kids are going to be wanting to read the new big thing. When I was in elementary school, it was the Warriors series, if you guys remember that. It was the one with the cats. Have you heard a single kid talk about that one since then? No, obviously not. Percy Jackson was another one. I believe that was the end of my elementary school years, beginning of middle school years. It was big, and then they made a movie about it, and it died. Honestly, guys, like, the kiss of death for popular kids things is like when they make a movie, that's when it just dies. I think that's sort of funny, but obviously not my ideal customer. And again, something else that I've seen is with those non-ideal customers for me, another reason why they aren't my ideal customer is I've seen those people have higher return rates. I think it's very interesting because, again, these people are spending $5 for a book, $10 for a book, shipped to their house, $15 for a book, and then they refund it and ask for a refund because it wasn't perfect in their eyes. And it's like, ma'am, I know for a fact you're lying and you just want a free book. Go to the library, you dirtbag. But it's interesting because those really cheap things that, honestly, it's not a loss out of their pocket. If you think about like how much they had to spend for this thing, I mean, some of these things, literally, you sell it for $10 and they want a refund because they want their $10 back. It's like, what do you stand to gain from this? You just basically stole from a small business because you are a slimy, lazy dirtbag. That's just how I sort of see things with that. Obviously, there are legitimate reasons for returns. Don't get me wrong. I do. I joke with Mike, the used book guy, on his live streams every now and then, and other videos of where he's like, "Oh, making fun of all the people that say all Amazon returns are scams." Absolutely, that I'm with him on the whole. That yeah, that's not the case. There are some. It's the exception, not the rule there, though. Not every single return you get is going to be a scam. But I find that you will have a lot more returns, a lot more scammy returns also, with those really cheap books. Again, that set of books that I sold where the guy was bought, canceled, bought again, canceled again, that was $15 plus shipping. That goes in the really cheap category where all of a sudden people just don't seem to know how to be customers anymore. I don't know why that works. I don't know how that works, but that just sort of seems to be the thing. For me, that's one of the reasons why I put into place a $25 floor rule for my store, which I then rose to $30, and I've since strayed from that a little bit. I'm getting through a death pile of books, and rather than donate or throw these things away, obviously I won't throw them away. You guys know my entire thing with this business, this whole channel. I don't throw away these books if I don't have to, but obviously I don't really want to do that, so I'm selling a lot of books out of my old death pile of just like, well, these things aren't very valuable at all, but I'd rather see them sold for $5 than get donated, because it's just like, I have them, get a few low-end books, which means low-end sales, which means even though I don't like the low-end sales, even though those customers can be a little bit weird, I find the antique low-end books do have a better clientele. It's those new cheap books that seem to have the poorer clientele, not poor people, but like poor choice of people. No, that was even harsher. I don't know. You guys know what I'm getting at, though, of where it's just not the ideal customer for me. Those newer low-end books, it's just not what I want whatsoever. Those people ask for a lot more returns. They want really, 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 really low prices, and it's just like, why am I in business if I'm dealing with people like you that don't know what's up? With that said, though, those low-end older books that I'm selling, I do get a good amount of reviews off of those books, especially when I still give those people sort of the prestigious efforts that I put into all of my other all my other things that I sell on my store. Because remember, guys, I've mentioned this before. I will take a book that I'm selling, and then I wrap it in butcher paper. I put a nice little happy reading sticker on it, which people really like. On my eBay store, you can actually check out well, you guys can't check out because most of you don't know my store name. Those of you that do know it, don't tell. I don't like that getting shared here. But I've gotten a lot of feedback on my store of people being like, he has a little sticker on the wrapped book, and it's really nice. No one does that. And then I put that wrapped book with the sticker in a box that's packed on all sides of paper to make sure that it gets to people in the best possible condition. Not a lot of people do that, and when I'm doing that, even for the lower end books, am I making money on that? No, because I'm wasting so much time doing all that stupid shenanigans, which Mike, the used book guy, I know for a fact will make fun of me for. But the amount of reviews that I get for that is really, really helpful, and because those people do go out, because they know I'm not making much money because I'm doing all this stupid stuff for them, those people will go out and leave feedback. I have a pretty good feedback rate of not just like good feedback percentage, but like the amount of people that come back and leave feedback. I want to say it was something like 40-something% for me, which is pretty rootin' tootin' nice if you ask me. No, it was like 46%, I want to say. But with that said, those people leaving those detailed reviews, it helps me sell my more expensive books, because those people buying the more expensive books, they are the people that are actually going to read a description. They're actually going to read the feedback of a seller. In fact, I think people buying those books are the only ones that can read sometimes, because again, there's some stuff you say in the description of stuff, and then someone's like, oh, item not as described is this and this and this. Ma'am, that was in the description. That was as described. Pay attention. Read. I'm not convinced you can read, even though you're buying books. But the reason why I like getting that feedback again is the people buying these more expensive books, they do their research, and when they see all these feedbacks being like, this guy wrapped his books, this guy put the stickers on the books so it was really nice, he packed them very nicely, it came in a nice box, all that sort of stuff, and it shipped fast, all those things, that screams, this is a really good seller to all the people buying the more expensive books. And for me, and a lot of people doing the same business model as me, that good feedback, that good reputation is what makes your business, because again, you are fishing for the large fish that buy your expensive books. All the other books that I sell, I am chumming the waters. If you guys don't know how fishing works, you can chum the waters by putting out a whole bunch of like fish guts and small stuff that other fish will come. The smaller fish will come, and then the bigger fish will come to eat the small fish or eat some of the chum, that sort of stuff. And that's when you, with your fishing pole, can actually catch those bigger fish, which are the ones you're actually after. For me, again, all those cheap ones, that's the chum in the water. These are my larger, more large fish-based bait that I have in the water, waiting for them to come and buy the book for me. So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that story that I shared was helpful for you guys. I hope it got a little bit of a chuckle for some of you guys, because it's one thing to get someone to cancel the same order twice. It's another thing for them to cancel the second time after saying, oh, I won't cancel this time. Cross my heart. Pinky swear, oh, JK, my fingers were crossed. That sort of thing. That's what it felt like with this, guys. It's just like, come on, man. But I hope you guys did get a little bit of a chuckle out of the story. If you have your own little war stories of idiot customers, feel free to drop that in the comments below as well, because let's face it, everyone thinks they're wise in their own eyes, including the fools. And I believe there's a scripture about that, huh? Oh wait, there is. With that said and done though, guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to drop it a like. Feel free to check out one of my other videos right there, and I will see you guys in the next one.